Here's a quick tutorial on onboarding an existing Wi-Fi network using the Helium Wallet CLI to be able to handle Helium Mobile traffic using your home Ubiquiti Wi-Fi setup. So what we're doing right now is we're compiling and we're going to install the Helium Wallet CLI. For more information on that, do check out the documentation that is specific to the Helium Wallet CLI in the Helium docs and on the GitHub that documents the project. If you didn't want to build this from source, there are releases available on the GitHub repository. It's just a matter of downloading the one that's relevant to your machine and then, of course, following the instructions that are in the README in terms of how to load it and leverage it. Cool. So the CLI has completed building, and this is going to put this in the target release folder. We can see this one, Helium Wallet in red. I'm going to go ahead and move that to the user bin folder, which will make this easily accessible and executable from the command line. So we're going to do sudo cd wallet user local bin, like that. And now we can see that I have version 2.1.1 available. So we're all ready to go in terms of installing and creating our wallet. I'm going to do this on a brand new wallet. You can also bring in an existing wallet into the Helium Wallet CLI, whether that was one in your Helium Wallet app or even a Solana wallet in Phantom or anything like that. We'll see the create command gives you a number of options in terms of creating wallet. I'm going to go ahead and do the create basic. I'm going to give it a password. Got to think of a good one. So we can see I've got a wallet created now. This is the wallet address on Solana, and this is the legacy version of this wallet if it were on the Helium L1 chain, which can be a helpful reference at times. So I'm going to go ahead and fund this wallet in a different screen and get some tokens into it, because as we can see, it currently has no balance. So give me just a second and we'll get that going. All right, so my balances have been sent over. At the time of writing, an onboard takes $1 worth of data credits, $1 worth of mobile token, and a little bit of Solana token. So if we take a look here, we should see I have about 0.35 HNT, which I'm going to convert to data credits. We have some mobile and we have some SOL. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do here is create those data credits. It's going to be the Helium Wallet command DC mint, and we're going to do 100,000 data credits, and we'll use the commit flag to commit it. We'll ask for our password, and then we'll just wait a sec for that transaction to go through. And then if we go back and take a look at our balance, we should see, yes, there's 100,000 data credits. We can see our HNT amount has gone down, and we've also used a bit of our SOL to create that entity. So we can actually go ahead and create our new on-chain entity now. So the onboarding guide goes through all of the details, including these token amounts that are required. If you're doing this in the future, of course, double check this. You may not need that mobile token, and it'll likely be $2 worth of data credits instead of one of each. The first thing that we're going to do is create a token as an onboarding token for this entity. This is an off-chain part, and then we're going to use this token to create the on-chain entity. So Helium Wallet, hotspots, add mobile token. And we can see this has created a hotspot key, and we can see its name, and then this is the token that we can use to onboard. You can run this as many times as you like. Nothing is actually recorded at this point. So if you want to roll the dice for a name that you like, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and run with this one, and we can move into the onboard step. So Helium Wallet, hotspots, add mobile onboard, and we're going to take this token without the quotes and drop that in there, and we're going to define the latitude and longitude of the location where this hotspot is going to be. And I've got on another window here a location that we're going to be converting. So we're going to do lat equal that. And I'm just going to pop back over here. Lon equals and that. And we'll say commit. We'll enter our password again. So this one, we encountered a little bit of an error. And so what we're going to do is we're going to double check those token balances. Sometimes that might be too low. So we'll check our balance. Yeah, we can see that the token amount was deducted, but that means it should be created. I'm just going to run this command again. Could just be a bug in our onboarding. And then running that command again will push it over the line. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely a Solana token amount too low. So let me go ahead and send just a little bit more over to this wallet. Great, so those tokens are sent, and now I can go ahead and rerun this command again. There we go. So that's complete. We can see this transaction ID. We could look that up and see that entity on chain. In fact, let's go ahead and do that just for the purposes of demonstration. There, so we can see it burned that 100,000 data credits, or equivalent to $1. It burned $1 worth of mobile tokens, and it created and generated that entity into this wallet. So yeah, we are now the owner of an NFT on chain. So the next step is to get the certificates that we're going to use on our brownfield config. I'm going to do this in a network that I have currently access over. And the thing that we need to pull up first, and this is referenced in the Ubiquiti guide, is that we need to determine what the NAS ID is going to be to represent this network. So I'm going to use the controller of the network. It's a sort of permanent piece of the installation. And I'm going to use the MAC address of it. We like to see MAC addresses used as the NAS IDs for networks on Helium. So we can go ahead and say Helium wallet hotspots add mobile cert, and then our hotspot key is this one that we saw above. So when we ran the add token command and we saw that name, we're going to use this key here. And then NAS ID, yeah, here. And we're going to give it a location. If this is a business entity or a commercial location, it can be really helpful to give the business name here. And this is helpful when we start thinking about carrier offload in the future. There's a clear indication of where this is going to be activated. In the cases of residential settings, it's sufficient to just put a street address. So this one's going to be, let's go like that. And we could keep the address location in quotes because it has spaces in it. And we can go ahead and run that. Oh, command is not location, it is address. Cool. So now that we've completed that, we've got a set of certificates that are available for us to go and onboard to our network. So inside of our Ubiquiti controller, we can go into settings. And the first thing I like to do is create the profile for the radius profile that is going to be used in the network. We'll need it later, and it's just helpful to have it all queued up. So we're going to go ahead and create new. We're going to call it Helium RadSec. We are going to use TLS. This is the authenticated version of it, and then we're going to pull in these certificates. So the first one is going to be the certificate. It's this .sir. I'm going to open certificate, and we'll do the private key. It's .pk. There is no password, and then we'll do the CA certificate, which is there. And we can hit save. And then under the Ubiquiti onboarding guides or the general onboarding guides, we're going to need to go ahead and add the authentication and accounting servers for Helium. So there's 3 each. They are the same on all of them. And I have not memorized these because they are IP addresses, but we're going to go ahead and paste these in. And then password is RadSec on all of them, and the port is the same. I'm going to make sure to turn on the accounting, and we're going to enter all of the same servers on the accounting side, same password. And we'll do this interim update interval, and as the guide will outline, it's 300 seconds. So we're all set here. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply changes. Don't need to memorize any of those passwords. And here we're set with the RadSec profile. Now we can go ahead and create our Wi-Fi network. And as the docs will outline, that happens under the Wi-Fi view in the settings of the Ubiquiti controller. We'll create a new one. We'll call this Helium. We don't need to enter a password. We're going to hit manual under the setting here, and we're going to convert this to a Passpoint network. We'll see that password field goes away. This one, I'm just going to call it Clubhouse. But this is a residential setting. These generally wouldn't be selected for carry or offload, so things in residential settings don't matter as much. If this were a commercial venue, I'd want to make sure I was giving it that appropriate name, and then of course giving it the very appropriate type, and in this case I am going to be residential. This is just a private residence. And then we're going to choose chargeable public network. Yep. So this is going to be a double netted IPv4, and IPv6 is unavailable. We're going to add some NAI realms. This can be hello. The EAP method is EAP TLS. Sub method is certificate. And again, we can see that reflected here. And we're also going to add FreedomFi. Those two. Under domain list, we're also going to add FreedomFi. We don't need to touch the roaming consortium list, the 3GPP networks. Those will come into play in any situations where carry or offload is set up. But that is not part of the self-serve option. Under the domain list, we're going to do freedomfi.com. And then we can scroll all the way down. We're going to do WPA3 Enterprise. We're going to select our radius profile under radius profile. And then for the NAS ID, we're going to enter the NAS ID that we used during onboarding, just this. And we can hit add Wi-Fi network. So now our network is online and is capable of receiving traffic for Helium Mobile subscribers and being rewarded for that traffic as well. And if we wanted to take a look at this entity on chain, we can go back and find that hotspot key. Take a look at Helium World. And really just any arbitrary location here. I like to just click on one. And then in place of the hotspot identifier, we can put that key in and we'll do a lookup. And sure enough, there is our innocent glass spider ready to handle traffic on Helium. And that's all.